You need to be in agreement with what the strategy the fund is running. If your views are aligned with that and you feel that it has a future, then that's where you need to stay. It doesn't matter whether that fund has not been doing well in the past, because the future is where your returns are going to be coming out from. So I think while we are investing for the future, and that's where we should be looking at. I think past performance can be fairly hazardous if we continue to do that. I mean, you can't drive a car looking at the rear view mirror, can you?
I think we have a few more questions. Some of them seem to be more technical in nature, but what I do is I just quickly ask the panel here, why don't AMCs introduce common application form for all MF transactions, including SIPs, STPs, ECAs, auto debit, SWP, etc., as well as common transaction slips? So I guess some development is happening on that front. Maybe Ajit can throw some light on it.
I don't think the development is really happening from an application form perspective for a new client to have a common application across AMCs, because many of the conditions could be different, and I guess that is the reason for the question as well. But I believe that recently what SEBI has is probably going to be mandating very soon is for a common account statement as far as clients are concerned. And what I understand from it so far, because we'll still have to wait for the details to come from SEBI in the form of a circular, but what I understand from it so far, I think their intention is that confirmations to clients will go only for transactions that are done, whether by email or mobile or whichever way. But the statement that will go to the customer from the registrars, and here the registrars are now working a solution out, the statement that will go to the client will have all of the investments that he's done across the mutual fund industry. So it will come directly from the registrar in that manner. That's what I know about it.
Common platform also.
Okay.
I think somewhere the common platform which is also being worked upon has to be seen a little more closely what shape it takes, because that throws up tremendous possibilities. As Ajit was mentioning earlier, that you're going to be probably in a position to move funds from one fund to the other. So if that is to happen, I think by a stretch of imagination, we can assume that you may get to a situation where we have completely common forms across, at least on the platform.
I'll add to that. I think that is the intention from the platform's perspective, that it makes it easier even for the for getting a customer in. And in the manner that it is being thought of, I guess each of these features will probably come onto the platform in a phased manner. First will be the simple ability to do the transactions, and second, these more advanced features where if a client has already invested in any mutual fund anywhere, and if assuming that you've already done that transaction for him once, next time whenever he's investing in funds, just by putting in a PAN number, you will be able to pull all the information and populate the system so that there is absolutely no room for error. So these kind of facilities are being thought about and will be included into the platform in a phased manner, is how I understand it.
Okay, there is a question on service tax. It says service tax is deducted from all advisors irrespective of their earnings, whereas probably 90% of the IFA's earning is likely to be much less than the threshold level when service tax becomes applicable. Can this matter be taken up with SEBI or AMFI and deduction of service tax at source be abolished?
That's a very technical one on service tax, but let me give you an answer for that. The issue of service tax is with the central excise, and neither SEBI or especially SEBI has really anything that they'll be able to do about it. They would instruct AMCs to take clarification from the central excise board. That clarification has been sought. And the answer that I think AMCs have received from the Central Excise Board is that the service tax in case of mutual funds, insurance, and even in goods and service need to be paid by the recipient of the service. And in this case, the recipient of the service is defined as the mutual fund company. And therefore, that's the clarification that I have now for this. Service tax is deducted by AMCs because we are considered the recipient of the service. And it is a central excise rule that we have to deduct it and pay it forward.
There are two more questions. I think I have answered to those. One is the non-IFA nominee appointed by an existing IFA entitled to all future trail and upfront commission? The answer is yes. If the IFA appoints a nominee who is not AMFI certified, he, in case of the event of the death of the person who is distributing funds, the non-IFA nominee, he will be entitled to future trail commissions. So the answer is yes. One more question says...
I'll just add to that, Rajiv, just to make it more clearer. So, yes, even if an IFA is nominating a non-IFA as a nominee, you will still be eligible to receive all the past trail on the business that has been done, not the future upfronts or commissions from any future transactions that may be happening in the folio for that particular ARN, for which the new nominee also needs to be a registered advisor. So that's the clarification. Can I make it, it wasn't clear. So one is, can you nominate a non-IFA? The answer is yes. Will that nominee get the past trail income? The answer is yes. The future trail income for all the business that has been done? The answer is yes. But the future upfront or trail from new investments that may happen. So which means supposing there is an SIP running and there are additional purchases that are happening post the event happening. For those transactions, the trail or the upfront is not paid to the nominee till he becomes an ARN holder.
I mean,
it's not yet clear?
no, okay, let me take a shot at that. See, while the business is going, everything is fine. The trail commission, upfront, all kinds of payments which have to be made is being made to the individual IFA who is AMFI certified and ARN holder, right? It's only a question of when the nominee comes into the business, what happens to the commission which has to be paid. Till the time the business is in the hands of the IFA, there is no issue. The moment it moves to the nominees, in the hands of the nominee, and in the case that the nominee is not AMFI certified and an ARN holder, there the trail commission on the business procured till that day will continue to go to the nominee. All brokerages due on business transacted thereafter will be put on hold till such time that the nominee actually gets an ARN number. Once that happens, the brokerages for future business will also start getting released to him. Is that clear now?
Okay, there's a question on a minor investor who has turned major, wants to redeem his earlier investment. The AMC is asking for KYC compliance, PAN card. What should one do? I think the answer is clear. The minor has to obtain a PAN card. He has to get his KYC done. He has to get his signature verified. So once the minor becomes a major, he has to go through all this, and without which he cannot transact or redeem. So the answer to this is also very clear. Is that fine, Ajit? Yep.
There are two positions to it. I guess it might differ from AMC to AMC sometimes, maybe from a legal perspective. But how I understand it is that you can't stop a redemption. So if a redemption were to be made, a redemption can still be done in this particular case. But I think it is also a matter, if it's so technical a matter, for to seek clarification also from AMFI and put it out in the public domain, which one of us can do to give it more clarity.
Correct. No, the one thought here was that, when the minor turns major, there won't be a signature verification, so when he signs, it has to be attested or it has to be verified, so when the minor would have invested, there would be no signature as such. So at time of redemption, there has to be a signature which needs to be tallied. But yes, it is obviously subject to debate, but yes, by and large, I think one may not be able to redeem very easily. I guess there are one or two questions more. I don't know whether there is a very direct answer to that question. In case of a change of broker, with the consent of investor, the investor is getting serviced by the new broker, but the new broker does not get any remuneration. Can this stand be justified? Sanjay, do you want to answer that?
So you have left the hard one for me, right?
The tough one right to the left of it.
Yeah, no. Basically, this has started actually, I think we are all in the industry. So what had happened is some of, I would say, the more enterprising people had started making this a business model. So I believe because of which the steps have been taken that, okay, the brokerage will not be released to the person who is the new ARN holder as far as the investment is there. If he is advising on the money, I think presently the situation is he will have to get it redeemed by the investor and probably go for a reinvestment, otherwise he will not be getting the brokerage and the commissions for the existing. I think from our side it's a clear stand. If somebody else would like to differ, the floor is open.
I think only I'll add maybe a clarification. I think the question also had somewhere saying that is that logical? So let me tell you that it is not logical. I think it's very straightforward that the commission should technically go to the new distributor. But at this point of time, it's a straightforward guideline from SEBI which is in operation, which restricts from paying. But there is a constant push that is being done through the AMFI, ARN committees and the other to clarify this to the regulator as well. In any manner possible, that how we can improve on the situation and continue to pay trail where a customer is providing a letter to the new distributor. So my sense is that we continue to push it. It is not logical. I think we will hopefully get an answer soon. Given that there is a new team at the regulator, we are hoping that they appreciate and understand this issue better and will give us a resolution soon.
Okay, thanks Ajit. I guess we have very little time left, and I guess we will be breaking for lunch. So if there are no more inputs from the panelists, I think I would just like to end the session, the pre-lunch session, with some very interesting statistics. I think all of us are aware of the fact that SIPs is the only way to go forward. To just leave you with few numbers, the share of SIP investments in equity gross sales on a monthly basis, as on March 2005 was just 2%. That share has increased to 11% in March 2008, and as of now we stand at about 25 to 26%. So as in the morning, I think Ashish, my friend from Prudential, mentioned that industry sees gross sales of about 5 to 6,000 crores every month. So a good 25 to 30% of flows have been coming from SIPs alone, which is very, very good sign for the industry. This money is more long term. SIPs are agnostic to market movements is what has been proven, and this book keeps growing. So today, in the first 6 months, the SIPs alone have surpassed the FI collections in the first 6 months of this calendar year. SIPs alone have added $2 billion to the MF industry, whereas FI flows have been less than that. So I think it is very encouraging to know that SIPs is the way to go forward. We are currently at a run rate of about 20,000 crores per annum in SIPs, which is roughly $4.5–5 billion. And this, to my mind, in the next 5 years can become significantly big, and we can stand up to any further future FI outflows. So I think the future of the industry is in the hands of IFAs pan-India, and more so here as well. So on that note, I would like to end the session. I think we'll take a few questions during lunchtime. Thanks all of you.
Thank you so much, sir. I would request everyone to please be seated because we are going to have a group photograph in this hall. The setup would be done in another 5 minutes, so I would request everyone to please be seated. I would request Mr. Suresh Mohta and Mr. Sangeet Narsaria to give away the mementos. Thank you. सभी कोई प्लीज हॉल में ही अंदर रहें. यहाँ पे ग्रुप फोटोग्राफ लिया जाएगा 5 मिनट में. कोई भी हॉल के बाहर नहीं जाए.